Welcome to my dollhouse. We are Caylee.
I just finished watching Lisa's Littles video called The Love-Hate Relationship. I started to cry like 20 seconds before she did. It broke my heart listening to Lisa talk about how she always feels, even like when her kids were little, she always felt like she didn't do enough. And that's like her love-hate relationship is that, her hate relationship is that she feels like it's never good enough. That one year where Caylee had like a million presents under the tree, I thought I was dying. I didn't know what the hell was wrong with me. The thing is that the real Caylee, I feel like I didn't do enough. Basically, in a nutshell, I feel like I failed the real Caylee. I know a lot of people don't know who the real Caylee is. I'm not going to get into it right now. I felt like I failed her and I didn't do enough. I just have a lot of guilt. It comes back to I have a lot of guilt that I didn't do enough. I should have done better. I should have done more. You look back and you're like, I wish I could have done more. Why didn't I work harder? Why didn't I do this? Why didn't I do that? Blah, blah, blah. All I can do now for Caylee is do things for this Caylee. That's all I can do. Your feelings are validated. Like, it's okay to feel that way. You don't have to apologize. It's not, there's no, I shouldn't feel that. No, you feel how you feel, and that's completely fine. You're allowed to feel that way. I have to tell you, when I think about my Christmases growing up, the last thing I think about is what I got, like the presents. And my families were dysfunctional, okay? Dysfunctional families. But when it came to Thanksgiving and Christmas, what I loved watching and seeing was everyone coming together as a family. That's what I loved growing up. I loved when everyone came together. But my love-hate relationship is I love Christmas and Thanksgiving so much because that's when everyone would come together. But what I hate about it as an adult is that things aren't like that anymore. Not with me and my brother. Our mother lives in Florida, and it's like I don't even have a mother. Most of my mom's family lives in North Carolina. My brother doesn't even exist really to them anymore. He's like a total, they just look down on him, and things just aren't the same. Like, there's estrangement in the family. Not that the family was ever perfect by any means, but when you're younger, it's just not the same. And that's why I started to cry. When Lisa started to say it's not the same, I started to cry. It's just not the same, and it's very depressing. So whenever the holidays approach, well, first of all, October 3rd is the anniversary of Caylee's death. So that kind of starts off the holiday season. Like, this year I was not in the Halloween spirit whatsoever. I was actually in the Christmas spirit in October. Now that Thanksgiving is approaching, my Christmas spirit is starting to go away, which is depressing. That happened last year as well. It's like it's the same exact thing. When we were younger, my mother decked out to the nines, and it was much better than it would be today because it was the 80s. So she had like Christmas around the world decorations. She would make her own Christmas quilts and pillows, and I talked about this last year. All the ornaments were handmade. She would sew ornaments, and then she would make like the dough ornaments. And it seemed like when Christmas rolled around, I don't know if she did it consciously, or maybe I just don't remember. Maybe I blocked it out. Getting hit or getting beat. I don't remember any of that during the holiday season. As I got older, it was awkward to open presents from my mom. Like Christmas morning, my brother and I remember one year they videotaped us, and my aunt and uncle came over. I remember this vividly. One of my aunts and my uncle came over, and they were watching us on Christmas morning on the videotape, and they were like making fun of us, like being sarcastic and making jokes about how we weren't smiling, we weren't laughing. Well, that's because our mother beat us. So, and we had social anxiety. We had all kinds of issues. So being in front of a camera, number one, was uncomfortable. Number two, sitting there with our parents and a dad who really wasn't our dad. Like, he was our father, but we had no relationship with him because he was always working. And we were always walking on eggshells with our mother, getting hit, getting beat. And yeah, she made a great environment. If you looked from the outside, you would never think that we were getting hit and we were getting beat. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm getting at. So it's very awkward to take gifts and be joyous in front of a camera on Christmas morning from the woman who beat you. I just remember feeling really angry watching that video with them, and they were like joking about us, about how we were acting, like not smiling, not laughing. We would open our presents really slowly. I was probably like 10. My brother would have been 5. At the most, I was 11. It was just awkward. Like, my love-hate relationship with Christmas has a lot to do with my relationship with my mother and that kind of stuff. Like, it got like awkward when I got older, but like when I was little, even though I was still getting hit and beat, you know, having like a community, having a family. That's what I miss about the holidays. Family coming together. And the present thing was the least of what I enjoyed, because that meant that the other stuff was coming to an end, because presents were always like the last thing you did. I don't know if you had like coffee and dessert after presents, I don't remember, but presents were always like signifying the ending. So see, presents to me are like, because we had Christmas Eve with the families, we would have Christmas Eve, and then Christmas morning, everyone would do their own Christmas morning, and then like after in the afternoon, you might go to like everyone else's house and visit or whatever. But Christmas Eve, like the opening of the presents would always signify like, oh, it was coming to an end. The night was coming to an end, and we'd have to go home. And I didn't like that feeling. My brother and I had bunk beds, and I was on the top bunk, and our room was off of the dining room, which wasn't used as a dining area. We ate in the kitchen, but the dining room is where the tree was. And I remember laying in my bed and staring at because the Christmas lights would be on. And I remember staring at the Christmas lights because I could see them from the top bunk. And I think that's why I love Christmas lights so much and Christmas trees. And we would also, my parents and my brother and I would drive around. We would drive around the neighborhoods and look at Christmas lights. That's something that we did every year. So that's a good memory. That's basically my love-hate relationship with Christmas. And Thanksgiving too. Thanksgiving, like for Thanksgiving, the Thanksgiving love-hate thing, it's kind of the same as Christmas. Everyone would come together for dinner and everything. But then you get to a certain age where it was like they're just doing it because that's the ritual. It just wasn't fun anymore. It became a ritual. There was just like underlining, not tension, but like this underlining of, oh, we're just doing this because we have to. Like, it was fun up to a point. Like I said, I don't remember the age where it just became like a ritual. And then it was always like the next morning, everyone else would get together, and my brother and I were never invited. Like, they'd get together for breakfast, go to a movie, and my brother and I were never invited. We were excluded. And they would fucking talk about it, like, right in front of us. on Thanksgiving, like after dinner and everything, they would like be making plans to do this and that. But my brother and I were always excluded. We were never invited to do anything. It was hurtful. If you're gonna do shit like that, don't do it in front of us. Like, don't make fucking plans not inviting us, making us feel like you don't want us around. And if you didn't want us around, if we had an attitude, we were sarcastic, yeah, we did have those issues, but maybe there was reasons for that. We weren't the only sarcastic ones in the family, I'll tell you that. We got it as much as we gave it. That was just how some of the family acted. They were very sarcastic and making fun in a sarcastic way. I try not to think about those memories, though, that piss me off and get me upset. You know, I just wanted to say to Lisa directly that it was really, you know, I appreciate your honesty with your feelings and letting yourself cry on camera. That's like a huge deal. You know, not cutting that out. And I know it makes some people uncomfortable when other people show their emotions on camera. You know, it's like, but you know what? I appreciate it. Because we've been conditioned to not show our emotions. We've been conditioned to not bring other people down. Fuck that. If you're talking about something and you get emotional and you cry or you get angry and you want to like vent, that's perfectly healthy. I hate saying things like this because it's almost like I'm not trying to dismiss how you feel. I'm not trying to dismiss your feelings. But you do enough, especially if your kids are happy. I also have the love-hate relationship with the holidays, but for different reasons. What are you doing, Bojangles? You playing with Caylee? You all done? What are you doing?